Hey, so if you're a dog owner in Gansevoort, you know we've got the best of both worlds, right? We have these quiet country roads, but we're also just a quick trip away from town. That whole mix, though, it can create some unique situations for our dogs. So today, we're going to walk through how to find just the right local trainer to help your dog really thrive here. Think of this as your practical guide. We're going to cover everything from what your dog specifically needs for our area to the kind of questions you should be asking a potential trainer. The goal is to help you make a choice you feel really good about. We've broken it all down into 5 simple parts. First, we'll figure out what skills are essential for a dog living in Gansevoort. Then we'll get into different training styles, talk about costs and formats, cover the most important questions to ask, and then wrap up with some great local spots to put all that new training into practice. Okay, so what really makes training a dog here in Saratoga County a little different? It's really about thinking beyond just sit and stay. It's about getting your dog ready for the real-world stuff you're going to run into every single day. Just think about these specific things. Having a rock-solid recall is an absolute must when a deer suddenly bolts across your yard. And having the dog who's calm in the car, that makes those trips to Saratoga Springs or the vet so much less stressful. These are the kinds of practical skills that make for a really great companion around here. So once you have an idea of what you want to teach, the next big question is how you want to teach it. And this really comes down to choosing a training philosophy, which, is going to shape the entire relationship you build with your dog. The foundation of pretty much all modern effective training is what's called positive reinforcement. To put it simply, it's all about rewarding your dog when they get something right. Giving them a treat when they sit. This does so much more than just teach commands. It really builds their confidence and makes learning a fun, positive thing for both of you. This really shows the 2 different paths you can take. Reward-based methods, they build trust and they teach your dog what you actually want them to do. On the other hand, aversive methods, which rely on intimidation or discomfort, often just create fear and can actually make behavior problems a lot worse down the road. So how do you know if a trainer is qualified? Well, you can look for these letters after their name. Certifications like CBDTK or KPA-CTP, those are great for general skills and puppy training. But if you're dealing with bigger challenges like fear or reactivity, you'll probably want a behavior consultant with a credential like IABC-CDBC. And for the most serious aggression cases, a specialist might have a CBC-CKA. It's really about matching the expert to what you need. All right, let's get into the practical stuff. We're going to talk about the cost and the different types of training you'll find around here. So here's a look at some typical cost for 2025. As you can see, the price really varies depending on the format. Group classes are usually the most budget-friendly way to get started, while something really intensive like a board and train program is a much bigger investment. This should give you a good idea of how to line up your budget with your training goals. And this is really the key question you've got to ask yourself. The right format is going to depend completely on what you're trying to achieve and where your dog needs the most help. Let's compare the 2 most common options. In-home lessons are perfect for tackling issues that happen at home, like, say, barking at the door. The training is totally customized to your space. Group classes, on the other hand, are fantastic for socialization and teaching your dog to focus on you even with all the distractions of other people and dogs. And that's a skill you need for any public outing. Okay, so once you've got a short list of options, it's time to actually interview potential trainers. This is your chance to really make sure their style, their methods, and their personality are the right fit for you and your dog. You should use this as a checklist when you talk to a trainer. You really need to know their methods, confirm their credentials, and understand how they'll tailor a plan specifically for your dog. And definitely don't forget to ask how they define and track success. A real professional is going to have clear, confident answers for every single one of these points. All right, let's bring this all together. At the end of the day, great training helps you be a responsible and, a happy dog owner in our community. Knowing the local rules and having some good places to practice is a big part of that. It's really important to know the local regulations. Here in the town of Northumberland, which includes Gansevoort, leashes are required in public spaces. You'll also need a county license for any dog over 4 months old, and you need to show proof of a current rabies vaccination, which is a state law. These are really just the basics of responsible dog ownership. And of course, you're gonna need some great places to practice all these new skills. For working on leash manners around distractions like hikers and joggers, Saratoga Spa State Park and Morrow Lake are both fantastic. And if you want to practice in a town setting with more foot traffic, Congress Park is an excellent choice.
Ultimately, this is all about building a better life with your dog. A well-trained dog that you can trust who understands what you expect of them. That's a true joy to have as part of your family.
This kind of training gets you ready for everything our area has to offer. You can enjoy those peaceful walks on country roads, take a trip to the farmer's market, or have friends over without any stress. It just opens up your world together. Finding the right trainer is really just the first step on a very rewarding path. We hope this guide has been helpful. Good luck to you and your dog on your training journey.